Well, we now know at least a dozen or so runners from the Ozarks were in that race today,
including KY3's own Paul Adler and his wife, Melissa. Melissa was running in the marathon with Paul right there to cheer her on. Melissa joining us now by phone from Boston. Melissa, first of all, we know that you guys are okay. We are safe. We're thankful for that. We understand that you had just crossed over the finish line. You were getting your medal. What did you hear? What happened?
Well, I had my back to the finish line, and I heard what sounded like a sonic boom, and I turned around and I saw a huge cloud of white smoke going up into the air. And then a few seconds later, a second explosion went off, and everybody turned, and we were all just stunned. It fell silent. And we turned around and started moving away from the explosions. It was very calm at first, but then everybody started to run, and it got very chaotic. And I just knew at that point that something was terribly wrong. And
Melissa, just about how close were you to the finish line and to that explosion? Because we're watching the videotape now. So a cameraman is shooting video of runners finishing. We can see how close that explosion is to the finish line. How close were you to the explosion?
I don't know how to estimate it, but when you finish a race, they hand you a water bottle, and then you get your medal. So that's how close I was.
Just feet away, really.
Just very.
And
I feel
Paul,
very lucky.
were you there at the finish line when Melissa crossed?
Oh, I'll give you Paul. Hold on.
Thanks, Melissa.
Hello?
Paul, it's Emily and Ethan. Were you there at the finish line when Melissa crossed?
I was about a quarter mile away, which was about as close as I could get. It's a very large finish line area, and I knew she had finished and I had missed her. I didn't see her come through in the crowd because I had a text alert, and right after I got the text alert from the Boston Marathon saying that she had finished, that's when sirens started going off, and I thought I could see some smoke just up ahead. And as I started moving there, my first thought was to take a picture. I took a picture, and you know, the reporter said, "What's going on?" And then my second thought was, wait a minute, she just finished. I got to get there. So the crowd was streaming away, and I was streaming toward the area where it all happened, and it was just horrible. It's just horrible that it happened, and then there's the panic because you want to find your loved one, and streets are closed down, and police officers are telling me you can't go this way, and I'm saying I just want to go see my wife and make sure she's okay, and I don't know how long it took to find her, but I was diverted quite often. It took a long time to get to her, and there was just a lot of fear because I knew she had to be somewhat close when the explosion happened, and it was just such a relief when we finally found each other.
It had to be just a horrifically traumatic experience, especially for Melissa, who was close to this when it happened. She sounds, on the phone, Paul, she sounds pretty shaken up, is she?
We both are. As I was looking for her, a man came down the street with blood on a sweatshirt saying, "Go to Massachusetts General right now and donate blood. There are a lot of people hurt." And that's when I was still looking for her. So you can imagine we're both very upset. And this glorious event that has a long history and is an American tradition on Patriots Day, of all days, I don't know who's responsible, but
Paul, we're glad that you guys are both okay. Where are you now, and what's going on around you in the city right now?
It took a long time to get out of the downtown area where the explosions happened. Thankfully, we ran. Of all the things to be thankful for, another one to be thankful for is we ran into some people I know from Springfield, and they had a rental car. We didn't rent a car here. We've been using mass transit. And mass transit was shut down. There's still people stuck downtown trying to get out of downtown because the mass transit got shut down. So we were able to take a really long ride. We're probably about in a hotel about 3 miles from where this all happened. We'd like to be back home.
Paul, we are looking forward for you guys to come home. When do you think you're going to be able to make it back to the Ozarks?
That's just a very good question because we heard. Sorry.
Paul,
It's okay.
we know it's
It's
an
okay.
emotional
Yeah.
time. We're thankful that you and Melissa are fine. And think about that you guys are fine. I know it's been a traumatic day and certainly not the end of that race that you anticipated, but we're thrilled that you're okay. And
I'm sorry, guys. It's just...
Hey,
No.
That's all right. We understand. We'll let you go. We thank you for calling in and talking with us.
We're definitely praying for you. You're in our thoughts, and you've got a lot of support here.
And we do know, Emily, that the president is getting ready to
Correct.
speak.